for transfer price, that's the first one. When a business is decentralized and goods and or components and or services are transferred between divisions. In other words, there is almost always a need for us to talk about transfer price when an organization is decentralized in such a way that managers of different aspects of the organization have got roles to perform, and they are very mindful of how well they perform in these roles. The reason is that once you give managers responsibilities, then it means that at the end of whatever session it is, you're going to assess their performance. So managers are very mindful of how well or not they perform. And so there is always going to be a need for a transfer price, and we're going to look at that in the second part, in the second bullet, what it is. There's a need for it every time that an organization is decentralized and there are different managers managing different aspects of the organization. So then what is it? A transfer price, what is it? The price at which one division sells goods or components or services to another division within the same company. So let me try to put down something in a diagram for you. We have one area of the business, we can call this division A. We have another area of the business, we can call that division B. Now, what is happening is that division A either provides goods, and by goods I mean completed units of products, to division B to sell or to do whatever with, or provides components for division B. So what will be happening in this exam is that division B will be needing some part complete units or some components, and then they would have to buy it from division A, who makes them. So that division A would have to make at a certain cost, obviously, and sell to division B. Now, what we are concerned with is at what price should division A sell the items to division B. Do not forget, my friends, division A and division B in my little example belong to the same company. So this is one company, they are under the same roof, and therefore division A transfers goods to division B or does some work for division B, and we are thinking about what price division A should charge for those goods or services that have been transferred. That price is what we call a transfer price. Bullet point number 3. From a financial reporting perspective, the amount of transfer price is irrelevant for reporting purposes, because whatever it is revenue for one division here, and it is costs for the other, and so cancelled out from an overall company perspective. So if you have done some financial reporting in the ACCA, the former name F7, if you have done that before already, or if you have done the lower level paper, or in any of your levels of study, if you've done some financial accounting, you remember that if one division sells to another division, from a company perspective, the seller has got revenue sitting in their profit and loss account, and that same revenue is cost of sales for the receiver. Now, from a group perspective, when we are bringing them together, and in financial reporting, we're going to call that consolidations, we eliminate this sale. Because the idea is that you don't really sell to yourself from a group perspective. So division A and division B effectively are one body, they are under one roof. Therefore, you don't sell to yourself. When you are reporting from a company perspective, like I always say, and I'm saying to you now, what transfer price looks like is that one man's meat is another man's poison. So I sell to you at $10, you buy from me at $10. When we come together as a company, $10 revenue cancels $10 cost. So from a financial reporting perspective, it does not really matter, even if we sell to another division at zero price. Okay, if we sell at zero price, or at price of $10 or at price of $100, as far as the group is concerned, it's zero, because revenue of 5, cost of 5 is zero. Okay, so from a financial reporting perspective, it does not matter what the transfer price is. Okay, but we are in the class for performance management, and so we will look at what it means from a performance management perspective. So that takes me to the last point, performance management perspective. The last point above, i.e. financial reporting perspective, can only be true at a very elementary level, or only when human behavior is held constant. Truth is, the amount of transfer price affects behavior. This is the key. This is the key. The amount of transfer price affects behavior of divisional managers. Hence, if not set right, will result in dysfunctional behavior. I'm going to explain this in one moment. Thus ultimately affecting company performance negatively. So I would want to paint a picture here for you. You see, imagine I produce a component for $10, and I would have to transfer it to a brother, and I'm using a brother advisedly. I'm talking about transfer it to another division within the same company. Okay, now if I have to, if I produce at say $10 and I'm selling to you at below $10, well, from a financial reporting perspective, like we saw one moment ago, it doesn't really matter. But from a performance management perspective, what it means is that I produce, and cost of $10, for example, is sitting in my profit and loss account. Okay, not until I sell to somebody, and here it doesn't matter who, whether I'm selling to an inside person or an outside person, not until I get the revenue bigger than $10. What it means is that I'll be reporting losses. Okay, so therefore, what it means that from a performance management perspective, it matters a lot how much transfer price we charge. I said to you a few minutes ago that it is the case of, say, one man's meat is another man's poison. If I sell to you at a very high transfer price, I will be happy, and all other things be equal, you will not be happy, because not until you can also get revenue from the product, I mean, after working on it and selling it at a price higher than how much you got it from me, and probably any other cost you incurred before selling, you will not be happy, you see. So the higher the transfer price, the happier the transferor, and the more sad the transferee or the receiver. Okay, so it matters a lot, the level at which we set transfer price, and that should set the tone for this lesson and the other two to follow on transfer pricing. Okay, it's not too difficult a concept, but you have to understand these basic facts about how it affects behavior. Now, could you imagine that, with permission, let me use an example of, say, Toyota. Or you understand? Can you imagine that there's one division of Toyota that manufactures the car headlights, and imagine that that division is in one part of the world, okay? And then there's another division of Toyota that is another part of the world that assembles parts. Now, what transfer pricing entails here is that the division that manufactures the headlights says that the price they are getting for transferring the headlights to the division that assembles the cars, the price is not good enough. I.e., from a performance management perspective, probably they make one car headlight for $10 and then transfer it at less than 10. What it means is that we are going to be overly unfair to that division, i.e., they will be reporting high cost and low revenue. At the end of the day, we will be coming back to them and use profit to assess their performance. Okay, we'll use the profit whichever way, either by using it in return on investment or residual income, or just the absolute controllable profit, if you take the lesson on divisional performance measurement. Okay, now once they are running at losses, it will affect their behavior. That's what this point is saying. Affect their behavior in the sense that they might well go back and say, we would not manufacture the car headlights again. And when that happens, the assembly division of Toyota will not get the headlights to fix on the car. And you can imagine what is happening here in my little example. It means that the Toyota company as a whole suffers. And the Toyota company is not suffering just because of the transfer price, but it's beyond the transfer price. They are suffering because of the behavior or the action of the divisional head, the head of the division that manufactures the headlights. Okay, if you turn the table the other way around, what it means is that if they produce at say 10 and they have to sell at say 50, what it means is that they might be happy, for the transferer might be happy, but the assembly division that receives the parts would see it as too expensive. Now, when I see it as too expensive, there might be the temptation where I want to look for the headlight somewhere else. And if you look at my example carefully, it will mean that I want to imagine myself in a world where the assembly division of Toyota would be looking elsewhere to buy headlights, and will be buying headlights from say Ford, or be buying headlights from say Nissan or whatever. You understand? Practically, that will affect the brand of Toyota, or might not just work at all. You understand? This is where transfer pricing is important.